In this episode of Vision Auto Garage, we start work on our MG Midget 1500. This is a 1979 MG Midget 1500, complete in all its retro glory with burnt orange vermilion paint, rubber bumpers, Alley Cat Rally Special wheels and RS bucket seats. Its 65 brake horsepower 1493cc Triumph engine runs well. The 30-mile drive back to the garage highlighted that the brakes and suspension both need some work. With only a few mechanical issues to sort, it's the bodywork that needs the most attention. There's evidence of work on almost every panel, and it's clear repairs are needed to most of the front outside panels. The first thing to do is remove these large black performance inhibitors. With that weight lifted, I can get on with removing the seats by undoing the 4 nuts that hold them to the floor and lifting them out. To access the lower A post and the footwell side, I need to remove the front wing. The front wing's usually held on by 8 screws. Ours is held on by 6 screws and 2 beads of weld, and requires drilling and cutting to get it off. Although the main structure of the car is solid enough to get through an MOT, the repairs just aren't good enough for me. Patches on top of the surface and poorly welded and clearly visible, and no doubt they're hiding a lot more rust behind it. In the process of doing all this, whoever did it seems to have completely missed the A-post, which has disintegrated on the bottom hinge plate. Fortunately, repair panels are readily available and reasonably cheap, and as you can see, sufficient to do the whole job very well. This whole front valance here is not actually a genuine part at all. It seems to be a fabricated repair panel. Now, with the bumper on, you can't really notice it, but with the bumper off, is it obvious that this isn't the right piece for the car. Fortunately, it's a bolt-on panel, so we can just buy a replacement and bolt it straight on. It does explain why the wing was welded on both sides to this replacement panel and blended in. Every time I look at our little midget, the list of work is growing. So much for a quick and easy job. The outer sill panel on both sides needs to be replaced. I'm not happy with the patchwork. I'm also not happy that the jacking points have been welded in both sides. The footwell side here has been patched twice from the inside, once over the other, blocking the lower wing mounting hole here. The inner arch has been patched from the inside, evident by the MIG wire pointing through the holes left by the welding. That'll either be ground back and made good, if possible, cut out and repaired, or indeed replace the entire inner wing. It's quite crusty anyway. It's the same on the other side, so there's a fair amount to do here. I've taken the door off to give me better access to the A-post assembly here. I've also cut away and ground back the A-post skin on the lower half of the post to give me access to the bottom of the hinge plate, which is now basically free floating bar a small bit of metal holding it on at the top. Now what the next stage is to mark up and cut out the lower hinge plate in order to fit in our replacement plate. But I need to keep in mind that whatever I'm welding it to on the back needs to be solid and needs to be clean. So once this is cut out and marked up, I'll grind back and clean up the metal behind it, and if I need to, weld in anything that needs replacing. I also need to keep in mind that I'm going to replace the outer sill, so anything that's welded to in this area I need to free up now and make sure I don't weld anything to this sill panel for when it comes out. I want to do the A-post first so it gives me somewhere to locate the sill panel with reference to the door and the A-post and hinge assembly. With most of the lower A-post now removed, I decided to cut into the outer sill to see what's really going on underneath. Unsurprisingly, there's 2 layers of sill here, so a new sill panel has been put on top of the old rusty one. Rather than doing it properly and removing the rust, it's just been cased in and it's going to rot away, potentially making the car unsafe. So there's nothing for it, it's all got to come off as I thought and new panels go on. It's all getting rather serious now. I've removed a lot of the inner sill, all of the outer sill and the lower A-post, so the structure of the car is significantly weakened. I've braced it front to rear and top to bottom to give me a fighting chance of preserving the door gaps. The next thing I'm going to do is remove the rust on the footwell side and the remainder of the inner sill. Well, what started out as a relatively straightforward job of repairing the lower A-post has turned into a full-on restoration of the passenger side of the car. I've got a replacement floor pan, outside footwell, inner toe board, inner and outer sills, sill end fillers, lower rear quarter and an inner wing, all to go back on the car. Thanks for watching.